There we go. Good evening, everyone. This is the Ascension Parish Board of Adjustment meeting. I'm Howard Dolphin, the chairman. I call the meeting to order. We'll have a roll call of members. Mr. Brad Walker, Vice Chairman.
Present.
Ms. Kathy DeSater, absent. Mr. Jim Cecil.
Here.
Mr. Bryce Cox, absent. Mr. David LeBlanc.
Here.
And, of course, I'm here. We'll move on to the public comment period. This is where the public can speak regarding how this board operates or anything else along those lines. It's not a time where people would speak to a specific agenda item. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone wish to speak during the public comment period? I see none. We'll move on. Can I have a motion regarding the minutes of July 22nd?
So moved. Second.
You're moving to accept?
Yes.
Okay. We have a motion to accept. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Let's see. A motion to accept the written decisions.
So moved. Accept. Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. They're passed. We'll start now with the consideration of variances. What we'll do, everyone will have a chance to speak in 3-minute time blocks. We're going to have a fair amount of business to conduct tonight, so we're going to try to stick to that closely. When I call the variance, if you wish to speak, come up and sign in over here at the little desk here, and when you get to the podium, state your name and the variance, and or if you're the applicant or if you're opposing or against it or whatever. First item of business is zoning review 1915, lot 10B1 for Patricia Campbell. Come and sign in, please, and state your name and what you're applying for.
Miss Desideer is here, sir.
Okay, let the minutes reflect that Ms. Desideer is here. Nice to see you, Kathy.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Patricia Campbell. Reside at 41504 Johnny Duplessis Road, Gonzales, 70737. I'm asking for a variance on lot 10B1 for myself. I own the property. It consists of 1.02 acres. I moved my mother out of Baton Rouge when she took ill onto my property. And I've had an offer for somebody to buy not only the mobile home that we put her in, but a piece of the land. And so I've asked for a variance to subdivide that lot and sell.
Is that it?
I guess so, yes.
Okay. Does anyone wish to, the board, or do the board members have any questions of this applicant?
Motion to open public hearing. Second.
Okay, public hearing is open. This is where members of the public can speak for this lady's variance request or against it. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this variance request? Sign in, please, sir.
Yes, sir. My name's Dennis Biggs. I live at 41464 Johnny Duplessis. Ms. Campbell's neighbor. The lot she wants to subdivide will be between her residence and mine and my mother's. We see nothing wrong with this at all at this time. And really, that's all I have to say. It's fine with us.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Does anyone else wish to speak for or against this variance request?
Motion to close public hearing. Second.
Public hearing's closed. Are there any?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Do I hear a second?
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Variance is granted. Next order of business is zoning review 1916, lot 7, Hope Villa Acres for Katie S. Haley.
Yes, sir. My name is Greg Johnson. I live at 1172 Verdun Drive in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're come before the council tonight for a variance on a house located at 18381 Hope Villa Drive. Currently, this is limited to 1,500 feet residential medium for a daycare preschool operation. We're requesting a variance for the full square footage of the house. We don't intend to change the house, the makeup of the house, or add on or anything, just to use the square footage that's there, which would be about 1,600 square feet in our operation. And according to the rules, you have a 1,500-foot limit on the residential medium. We're not applying for a commercial variance for the property. Going forward, we intend to leave it in the state it's in, the home.
Okay, is that it? Board members have any questions of this applicant?
Mr. Johnson, is this photo accurate? It's on the corner intersection?
Yes, sir, of Jefferson Highway and Hope Villa Drive. The house basically faces Jefferson Highway.
It's lot 7?
Yes, sir.
And when you're saying total square footage, is that the living area square footage, or is that the entire square footage of the building?
I think that's the entire square footage of the building. I got that off of the real estate listing. It was 2,083. What we have now is there's room for 3 classes in there. If we would take in the carport, close that in, that would give us the full square footage up to 1,600 feet that we're requesting the variance for.
Board members have any other questions?
Yeah, do you have anything to address like traffic, and also what is the kid count that you would be able to have in the building?
We would have up to 36 children. There's the parish codes and the fire marshal, the state fire marshal codes limit how many children you have per square footage. We're going to stay at that limit, which we calculate out to be 36 kids. The traffic, we were going to put in and out, driveway, exit.
Are you coming in both in and out on Jefferson, or in on Jefferson, out on the side street?
On Hope Villa.
Both would be on Hope Villa?
Yes.
In and out?
Yes.
And if you're limited to 1,500 square feet, how many children can be there?
27.
Any additional questions from the board?
Yes, I do. Is this piece of property located in the subdivision?
Yeah, I guess it would be considered part of the subdivision.
Have you checked to see if it has any subdivision rules and regulations? Not that we can...
No, right now it's zone residential medium. I mean, you could open up now with the 3 classes in there, but we wanted to do the 4th one, take in the carport, the garage area.
You've already purchased this property?
No. It's based on this variance. House has been on the market for about a year.
I think.
Any other board member questions?
It's not this one that's square. Okay.
Yeah, I got that confused earlier.
Do we have a motion to open public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
The public hearing is open. Sir, if you'll have a seat, I would imagine there's some folks that wish to speak about this issue. If you'll sign in, please, state your name, and offer your comments. You'll have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Grace Brule. We live at 18504 Hope Villa Drive. My husband and I built a home there in 1972. Our subdivision was established about 50 years ago. We are a restricted subdivision. The first item on our restriction says, and I quote, "All of the lots in the subdivision are hereby designed to be residential lots."
Yes, ma'am. I don't want to divert you from your thing, but that's a civil issue. We cannot enforce subdivision restrictions.
Okay, well, Last week, we sent y'all a petition, and it was signed by almost everyone in our subdivision. There's 2 lots on the corner that refused to sign, and we have 1 house that's sold for sheriff's sale that's been abandoned. And everyone is against having the daycare at our subdivision. We're located between Erin Estate and Maplewood subdivision, which are very restricted. And I know y'all would not allow a daycare center to be placed in the middle of one of those subdivisions. Hopeville is located between 2 bad curves on Highway 73. You know there's no money to fix the road. It's very narrow. We have a very difficult time entering our subdivision at peak times. If you put 36 more cars on our road every morning and every evening, you're just asking for trouble. We'll increase a good bit of traffic on our road. We live in an old but very beautiful subdivision. We have local traffic only. 5 of the children in our subdivision that grew up there have built homes there. We're 50 years old. Your decision is important because it will affect our subdivision for the next 50 years.
I have one quick question. This is the petition you're talking about?
Yes.
I'm interested. I see somebody signed for lot 7A, and 7A is the lot that's in question.
No, lot 7 is in question.
Well, I'm looking at the
I don't know
subdivision
why
plat, and I don't see a
first.
7A.
We had a first and a second filing, and lot 7 is the one on the corner that's in question.
Hal, it's Johnny Brown, John L. Brown, 7A.
Okay, I see it. Thank
And
you.
see, 21 wouldn't sign because she knows that if, this goes not commercial, but if a variance is granted, she would try to get one. And then the lot behind, lot 8, is abandoned, and we've been trying to get something done about that. So.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Does anyone else wish to speak for or against this issue? We'll close the public hearing.
We got one more.
Got one?
Hi, my name's Yuris Rodrigue. I reside at 38073 Hope Villa Drive. My big concern here is having additional traffic driving through our subdivision. Even though the lot is on the corner, I know that that there will more than likely be traffic that gets misdirected. It's a horseshoe street. They'll be coming in from both sides, using the street itself to turn around. I have older children, but I also have a 2-year-old who, we like to use the street to walk, to play. We know the residents and we know the traffic flow. So I do have a concern about the additional traffic that would be non-neighborhood traffic traveling through the subdivision. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak for or against this variance request?
Motion to close public hearing? Oh, wait. One back.
Got one
I
more?
withdraw it.
My name's Douglas Weber. I live at 11526 Country Club Road, Gonzales. My family's on the property directly across the street from this property in question for about 45 or 50 years. And I realize you guys only have the power to address the variance here. And I would suggest that the variance not be allowed. The statute's in place for 1,500 square feet, and that would seem adequate in a neighborhood environment for any kind of commercial activity. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, sir. All right, is there anyone else?
Go ahead.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
Public hearing is closed. Do the board members have any additional comments, questions?
Where is our applicant at?
Yeah. You have a chance to offer some rebuttal if you'd like.
The only thing we could offer is we could probably put the driveway in from Jefferson Highway to this, to the house. 36 more cars You're not going to, I don't know how much traffic impact that's going to be. Our office hours are going to be from 9 till 2, Monday through Thursday. So I don't think we're going to have a large impact on the traffic there.
So you're not going to do before and after school care is what you're saying?
No. This is just a preschool operation only. It's my wife and her sister run one now. Their hours are from 9 o'clock in the morning till 2. It's like a Mother's Day Out program is what it is. It's a pre-kindergarten.
From what ages do you anticipate?
2 to 4 or 5.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Wonderful. Sorry.
Does any board members have anything?
I have none.
Do I hear a motion of any kind?
I'm going to make a motion that we deny, based on the fact that it is a residential subdivision, and we like to keep things in the harmony of the neighborhood. And what my biggest concern is the traffic in that area. And just as the gentleman said, it is going to be difficult to be getting in and out of the one entrance. People will be driving through the subdivision to get to the other entrance, which is easier to exit and enter by. The other thing is we have 4 houses that are going to be part of that subdivision that are going to be on Jefferson Highway. Really would hate to set a trend. A daycare is probably the best possible thing if you were going to put something there, but there are a lot of other types of commercial operations that would fit into medium intensity. That's my motion.
I second that motion.
Do we have a motion and a second to deny? All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Any opposition?
Opposed.
Wait a minute. All in favor of denial, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we got 3 and opposed. So you got 1, 3, 4, and 1 against. Okay. Your motion, the variance request is denied, sir. The next item on the agenda is 1918, being a portion of lots 1 and 2, the D.B. Miller partition, remaining portion of lot 4 of the Earl Miller property, and I think that's supposed to be lot 5C of the Charlotte M. Gautreaux property for B&B Office Holdings.
Did you find these 2 lots on any of these maps?
Wait until doors close. Okay. Go ahead, ma'am.
State your name.
I'm Kathy Bordlaw. I'm with B&B Office Holdings. I'm the developer of Creekside Subdivision, which is located on Germany Road. We are getting ready to develop the 3rd and last filing of Creekside Subdivision. In so doing, we have discovered that a pipeline goes through the northwest corner of the subdivision. It apparently was overlooked by the abstractors. The signs were down, and it wasn't until the pipeline people came directly to us and pointed this out. And we're asking for a variance on 3 of the lots, and only 3 of the lots, 109, 110, and 111. And we would like the front building line reduced to 15 feet.
Is there a map for this? Because I'm not finding the lots on this map.
No, it's not on here.
This is what we have.
Okay, no, that's not the right map.
Yes.
Okay. This part.
Okay, so it's on here.
These three lots right here, you can see the pipeline goes like this, and just so that we will have enough building room.
So it's right here. Those three.
Just three, 109.
And where's the pipeline?
That's it?
This, right here? Yes, sir.
See, it's on the northwest corner.
Okay, it's in the curve.
So we're asking for a variance on 3 lots and 3 lots only.
Because of the building.
It was 20, and now you're wanting 15.
On just those 3. And it's on the outside of the curb, so it won't pose a problem with the site.
Now, this is taking into consideration the servitude on that pipeline that we can't do anything about.
Right. It's a 50-foot servitude.
I guess my biggest question on the construction line is this. Where are the garages or carports on these homes going to be located?
I don't think, just by going what she has in her other filings, I think they do vary. Some of them are front loading, some of them are rear loading. I don't know what the mix is on the existing subdivision. I guess probably 50-50 if I had to guess.
Because one of the problems we've run into in some neighborhoods and homes is 15 feet if you're going to put a garage at the front, and it's going to be 15 feet off the street. There's no way to park a full-size car outside of the garage. So then you have people parking in the street and blocking part of the street. And we've in the past denied those requests. So
Planning and zoning didn't request.
Those 3 lots being with the rear carport?
I mean, some of these lots you're almost cutting in half.
Well,
I mean, have y'all considered maybe some green space for this development or anything?
actually, she has had a planner, the guy that does her plans for the subdivision. He has looked at all 3 lots, and he can fit. These are small homes. They starter homes, so he can't fit a house on those 3 lots. But he did need the additional 5 feet, which is why we're here tonight.
What type of pipeline is it?
It's a natural gas.
And you had asked about doing something about the pipeline right-of-way. If you look on the map, you can see where we've already dealt with the pipeline people, and we've offset the pipeline. They've given us that much leeway.
Yeah, they all
Offset the pipeline.
Well,
They
typically,
didn't
the
move it.
actual pipeline is in the middle of the right-of-way, and they've worked with us, so we're going to move the right-of-way. We're going to slide it over a little bit.
Yeah, but y'all moving the right of way, not moving the pipeline.
That's right.
no,
So
the
it
house
means
is
the house
just going to be closer to the pipeline. Correct?
To a natural gas pipeline.
It's okay with the pipeline people.
Well, I wouldn't want to own the house if it goes that close to a pipeline.
Sorry, I understand.
Any other questions from board members?
None.
I would move to open public comment.
Second.
Okay, the public comment period's open. Does anyone wish to speak for or against this variance request? I don't see anybody leaping up. Can we close it?
I move to close public
Second.
comment.
Okay. Any additional comments or questions from the board members?
My main concern is the drive path. If somebody knowingly wants to buy the lot that close to the natural gas pipeline, I don't really have a problem with giving you the 5-foot offset, but I would make it conditional that the drive pad, the garage, are these homes going to have garages or carports, first off?
The houses with the garages are obviously in the front. If they have a carport, those go in the back.
Okay.
There's no exposed cars in the front.
Okay, I'm gonna, anything I would do would be conditional that all 3 of those lots would be rear carports, and that the drive pad would have to be at least 30 feet long before it entered, because that would at least be able to put another vehicle on the drive pad outside of the carport.
Oh, yeah.
If they rear loading, they would be probably.
Well, I know, but I'm just giving you as much leeway as I think I'm.
The lots are not wide enough to put a house and a carport next to each other.
Yes,
Mr.
I understand
Barrington,
that part.
can I ask you a question? First of all, this is a servitude. Is that correct?
It's a pipeline service.
Yes. And this servitude, pipeline just can't come up and say, we'll give you 5-6 feet or move the lines back any this way.
Yes.
They can?
Yeah, they can.
Contract for servitude.
Has that been done yet? You have paperwork on that?
Okay, that's my question. Because I just find it odd that as much trouble that we've had with electricals and utilities, that just come in and move it anytime you want to.
There's a contractual servitude rather than a dedicated servitude.
Okay, and that's 50 feet, right?
Whatever you agree to.
Yes.
Whatever you
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they agreed to
Okay.
pipeline company.
And well, that was my concern. I mean, we can sit here until we're blue in the face, but we may not have the right to even do it.
Just kind of some discussion on it. My issue is more of a safety concern, just being that close to a natural gas pipeline,
Well-
that we're allowing them to get even closer.
What's the difference in 5 feet?
Well, they've already had the servitude adjusted, so it's even closer than the 50 feet normal.
But
for any
I agree
gas pipe.
with what
Especially if this is
Desideri was
somebody's
saying,
backyard
that
and
I
they're
think it'd be
digging.
provisional that you explain it to the buyer that you're actually moving that close to a
Yeah, the
natural
only reason
gas
we're
line.
talking about doing this is to sell 3 extra houses. That's not much of a hardship to sell 3 extra houses. You know, I mean, that's the only concern I have with it, is that we're moving in closer, and they've already said that they had a mistake once, that they didn't know that it was there. So what prevents somebody from going dig up their backyard, okay, and pull the pool in or something and find out that there was a mistake, it wasn't labeled? It's happened once already. So, I mean, that's the only thing, and it's us allowing them to get closer.
I mean, it is.
So,
Not in
Actually, by
defense.
granting the variance, it allows us to build further away from the.
That's correct.
but it's 5 foot from the back, whereas you would have to do 20
No,
from the
we
back.
actually-
It's 5 foot from the front.
Front building.
5 foot from the front
Yeah. On the rear.
of the property.
Reduce the front segment.
It's still
There's a-
irrelevant. I think we won't hash
5
it.
feet.
We're beating a dead horse here.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a motion that we approve it with the stipulation that all 3 of those lots can only have rear entry carports, and that they have a drive pad that is a minimum of 30 feet or more. That's my motion.
We hear a second for the motion.
Wait, what, 30 feet wrong?
A drive pad of a minimum of 30 feet or more. So these 3 houses would have to have a rear entry carport, which will be behind the home. And that way it will allow adequate parking, so no one's parking in the street or their
I see,
vehicles
I see.
sticking out in the street, because these 3 lots are all on a
I
curve.
see.
Still waiting for.
I second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to grant the variance as stipulated. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
All opposed?
Oppose.
With conditions, yeah.
With the conditions. We don't have to read off the conditions again. Everybody understands,
We
right?
had 3 ayes and 1 nay, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, you got your variance, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, next order of business is the interpretation of use located on the south end of Billy Dakota Road, located in section 7T, 9 South, R4E. And we have that in front of us, I think.
See, I'm getting good at these.
And I'm still a little bit at a loss to,
Mr. Lance brought.
Lance has got to present it.
while we got the child abuse forms.
Oh, that was extra.
That was Lanyap.
Well,
Yeah.
I think we beat up Lance a little too much.
Can we get Lance to discuss this first before we have somebody else come up?
Fine by me.
Since it's Lance interpretation.
That's why you got the child abuse thing.
What it is that we've received, I guess, some complaints on the property in reference to bulk storage of wood being stored on the property. And basically what this is this is an interpretation that that I, or the zoning official, feels that bulk storage, or the wood that's being stored there, the use should be in a industrial or transition district. The property right now is a rural. It's in two districts really. It's a rural and conservation district. So my interpretation is that the type of stockpiling and storage of wood is bulk storage and should fall under the industrial uses per the permitted use tables. And that's my interpretation of the property.
And you have photos?
Yes, I do.
So the burn pile?
Yes, sir. Yes. This is another.
How long has the burn pile been there?
I'm not sure. I know that I received phone calls. I would say it started probably about a year, and then it kind of died off, and then it came back, and probably a month or so of phone calls in reference to the property. And that was probably last month, the month before.
That looks like it's freshly dozed.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes. Yes, when we went out there, which was August 19th, when we took the pictures.
Okay, so we don't actually have any wood that was there?
Not at this time, no ma'am.
Okay, and were all the calls by the same person?
No ma'am, it's by different people.
Okay.
Were they,
did they have
neighbors
photos?
bordering him?
Yes ma'am, yes sir.
Do they have photos?
I don't know, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, you'll get a chance to speak.
Yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Now the
Open up public hearing.
Second.
okay, we got the public hearing open. Now, if someone wants to speak regarding this.
How about hear from Mr. Booth first?
I'm sorry,
How about hearing from Mr. Booth, the person who owns the land first?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Booth here. Okay. Sign in.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Live at 14221 Billy Decato Road, and I don't really know. I mean, there's no burn law or nothing like that, and the wood I'm bringing in that's actually stored there is for firewood for personal use. And what I was doing was letting the wood sit there until the conditions are right to burn, you know, with the wind, the weather, and stuff like that, and then I would burn it. And, you know, have a controlled burn. That's what the picture was. That's where my burn pile was, and I would bring stuff to it. But if you consider it as a storage pile, I mean, there's no burn law. I can burn it as soon as it hits the ground. But that in turn causes, you know, a conflict with smoke and the way it's blowing. I do know I did have one time that I checked the weather, and it was supposed to be blowing away from, you know, away from the neighbors to the wooded area. And the wind shifted, and I just put fresh green wood on top of there, and when you do that, it creates a lot of smoke, and it did smoke them out. I did apologize to them about it, but I mean, I've got a thing from the EPA saying I'm doing nothing wrong.
Is this a commercial operation, sir, or is this?
I own a tree service, but I mean, yes, I mean, I mean, it's just me and my wife, you know, for the only two employees.
I mean, for the wood you're using there, is this a commercial thing that you're doing, or you say this was for your own use?
Well, the actually what's there in that picture is storage of wood I'm splitting for firewood, or smoking wood to smoke with. But the other stuff, the reason the wood was piled there was that when I cut a tree down, I brought it there and I'd leave it there to burn it. You know, the brush and stuff to burn when the conditions are right. And some of the trees I've cut down on my own property, and I've got more to cut down on my own property.
Lance, is this around a subdivision? No subdivisions at all.
Can you describe like how much land do you have that you store on?
About 2.5 acres. and there's nothing but fields on three sides of them, fields and wood, and actually they don't own adjacent property to the property in question. In other words, it's, you can ask Lance, it's two different sections of land. You know, I got an acre here and a little over an acre and a half here, and their property lines don't actually meet up to mine. None of them do.
Any other questions by board members of the applicant?
Yeah.
Or the landowner?
Yes, I do. Well, actually, I'm a little confused here. So you're saying this is not a business? Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I own a cut above tree service.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Right, but I mean,
it's a business,
but
and you bring trees there to burn them.
Well, I bring it there for firewood, my personal use, and then I do burn what I don't need.
And then you sell firewood too?
No, sir. Don't sell any firewood. Don't do anything for as money off that land. You know, it's just where I live.
Other than burn?
Other than burn.
Well, the interpretation doesn't have a problem with burning. It's the stockpiling.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
know,
issue.
but I was
And a small
looking
business
at
is
the-
still allowed in a commercial up to 1,500 square foot. As
I
far as
want-
building space, it doesn't
I
limit
wanted to
the
understand
acreage.
what we were doing, because I was a little confused.
And like I said, the reason it sits there for a period of time is to have the conditions right, you know, order for a safe burn. And then, you know, that's what, you know, EPA come out and looked at and said I wasn't doing nothing wrong.
I have a question for Lance. If he brings a tree back and dumps it, pours diesel on it, and burns it, then that's not stockpiling, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure of what we were talking about here. Okay.
And like I said, if that's the case, I'll have to burn every day. You know, if it's a stockpiling thing, then as soon as I bring one in, if I have to burn it as soon as I bring it in. And actually, it's against the law to pour diesel on it to start the fire with.
Do you ever notify the fire department when you burn?
I've had them called on me and everything else, and they've come out and checked me in other places. Lance knows I got another place that I burn at, and I'm doing everything within the law.
I have no further questions.
Okay, I think there might be some people that want to speak regarding this. Sir,
Okay.
would you have a seat, and we'll see if anyone in the audience wishes to speak. Have a seat, sir.
My name is Tina Gorey, and I live in the lot directly behind Mr. Booth. I own 2.5 acres there. There are times, I'll give you a specific time, I take night classes. I was taking night classes at LSU on Monday nights this summer. On July 14th, when I drove into my driveway at about 8:30, because that's when I'd get home from night class, there was so much smoke in my yard, I wasn't sure if it was my house that wasn't on fire. So I called the fire department at that time. When I got there, I noticed it wasn't my house, but I still called the fire department at that time because it was frightening when I got to my home and saw that much smoke coming into my yard. Stockpiling is really hasn't been our complaint, but more of the burning and the smoke coming onto my back porch is more of a complaint. The huge trucks, cherry picker that is visibly seen from my home at all times and heard at all times during the day, coming in and out. There is a fence between he did put up a fence between his property and mine. It's not a very sturdy fence, it's falling at this time. But the fence doesn't hide the cherry picker. If you stand in my backyard right out my kitchen door, I can see a huge red truck protruding up over the fence, which is sort of a ugly sight from my home. I guess that would be my biggest concerns. The cameras that have been set up that sort of point in my yard from his property is another concern of mine. I'm not sure why a camera needs to be
pointing on my property from his. Supposedly it's for protection of his property, but I feel like that's an invasion also of my private property.
Well, we need to wrap this up because you're time out. Thank you, ma'am. Does anybody else wish to speak for or against this?
Mr. Chairman, I think you need to keep it related to the interpretation only, and that's that the storage, whether there was a storage, bulk storage. Because the other matters are not in violation of the ordinance.
My name is Kenneth Cornett. I live at 14174 Junior Gore. My property is adjacent to Mr. Booth's. The issue with the bulk storage, it's not bulk storage because he can come home and drop 6 trees in one day and he'll go light all 6. That is the problem. A small burn pile is not a big deal. Everybody has one. We're not in a non-burn area. We know that. The problem we have is when you light up half a dozen trees, the amount of smoke that is put off. And no matter what the wind direction is, we live within an acre of him, and it's going to come on our property. The other issues that she spoke about, or some that were called in about, I don't know why we're not here today talking about them too, but
well, Mr. Chairman, that really is a civil issue, and we're still trying to talk about the stockpiling, and that's what I think we need to concentrate on here, because as it's written on the agenda, it's a stockpiling issue, and I haven't heard any stockpiling issues yet.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. Yes, how often are you saying that the burning occurs?
Whenever he has work, he I mean, in the tree business, me and him talked. He goes through spurts. He's been busy lately, so it's been happening frequently. When he's not busy, we hardly notice it. But when he's busy, like I said, he'll do a job and come drop the whole job and burn the whole job, and it could be a half dozen to a dozen trees, whatever his job consists of. And that's when the problem is bad.
And I'm just going to ask a couple more things real quick, because, you know, part of the problem here is even if we say, no, you can't stockpile, then we may have created a worse situation for you if he's going to come home and burn on a daily basis, because the smoke's going to go somewhere.
Right.
Well, in fact, that might be why the increase of the burns is. If I was feeling threatened about stockpiling, I'd burn it and not stockpile it myself. If burns is legal, I'd rather burn it than stockpile it.
Have you ever seen him stockpile? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And, you know, I'm not trying to mediate anything here, but, you know, it may be possible that there would be a better time, if there is such a thing, that he could cooperatively agree that he'd only burn on a Wednesday morning or whatever, if this was going to be the best time for everybody to be gone. I mean, I have neighbors that have bulldozed trees and have huge piles, and I know what it's like, you know, because you can't be outside enjoying your own yard if somebody's burning near you. And, you know, everybody does it, but you want to have the least effect, I know and understand, on your property as you possibly can. And like I said, the problem here that I can see is, I don't know, we don't really have any pictures of stockpiling. You're telling us you haven't seen stockpiling, and like I said, I don't want to create an issue where it makes life worse for you.
Right.
So,
well, I know whoever spoke with Mr. Lance, which was my girlfriend and the neighbor, I don't think the stockpiling was ever an issue. It was the burn, the amount of burning, the quantity at one time of burning,
right?
Which was the big issue,
right?
I think it comes down to if Lance is looking for a law that he has broken, that's what he has to look for. If there's no law against burning, then there's no law. I mean, that's more of the state fire marshal's realm than anybody's. They can say whether he can burn or not, but that's another issue.
It's almost better to wait till the wood cures instead of burning it green. If you burn it right when it's offloaded, it's going to bring a whole lot more smoke even.
And two, maybe if he can post a schedule of when he's going to burn and people notify it, and he notifies his neighborhood when he's going to burn, that might help things a little better. That y'all know that it's going to be burning. You can talk to him and say, hey, look, I got something going on that day. Can y'all move it or do it? Just there's ways to work things out as opposed to people getting mad and doing things on their own.
Well, and that's what I'm suggesting. If most of the neighbors know that you're all gone on a certain day of the week, or there's a better time, I guess you would
if it
say.
burned for one day and we could be gone, that would be good. But when you burn that amount of wood, it burns for 3 or 4 or 5 days.
Yeah. Well, he may need to be burning this in smaller batches, but not on a daily basis. That way, like I said, if it's a small enough pile and you have a bulldozer, you can bunch it and keep pushing it until it does burn pretty rapidly. But if you're having him burn green wood, I think it is going to increase your situation. That's my only comment.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we stick to that.
We really need to stick to the focus of the stockpiling, which was the interpretation. Does anyone else wish to speak to the stockpiling issue?
Rebuttal?
I'm sorry?
Go, let him rebuttal.
Come on.
Basically, I've talked to all of them.
You can step up to the podium, please, sir.
They can't hear you at home.
I've talked to all of them. I gave them my number, explained to them, what I was doing, and I've told them if they have something coming up, please call me, and hey, Dwayne, are you going to burn anytime soon? I got a party coming up, or anything like that, and I'd be glad to not do it. But I try to burn after a rain. I mean that's the most logical time to burn is after a rain, and like I said, if you do put green wood on it, it does smoke more. And that's basically, which I have talked to all of them, and I've tried to work with them. And I'm trying to do my best to work with them. And these are all the neighbors on the same street that I live on, and they're all willing to speak on my behalf, that I have worked with them, and different stuff,
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Well, we need to
I move we
either uphold
close public comment.
I'm sorry?
Do we need to close public?
Close public
Well, I
comment.
guess we can, close it. It's
Second.
a little different from a variance thing. What we're really doing is deciding whether to uphold the interpretation or not. So we need to have some sort of motion one way or the other to either uphold Lance's interpretation or to disagree with it.
I make a motion that we overturn Lance's interpretation, and the reason being is that I find out from the gentleman that's in question, and also from the comments that I've got from the people here, is a civil issue that they're dealing with, and not for this board to decide. So I like to go ahead and make a motion to overturn the decision, because I don't think that there's any stockpiling going on.
Do I hear a second to Mr. Cecil's motion?
Second.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to overturn the interpretation. All in favor, say aye.
I abstain.
Okay, so we got 3 ayes, 1 abstain, and I don't get to vote because it's not a tie. So whatever
It's
you have
overturned.
to do.
Sorry, Lance.
You lost one, Lance.
So the interpretation was not upheld, sir. Okay. Moving on to old business, because we have no more variances. The only old business item we have is the
And don't say nothing about the child thing.
They're not really bylaws, but we're trying to put together some operating rules and guidelines. And at the last meeting, there was somehow or other I typed 5 instead of 4 for the quorum. But does anybody have any additions, modifications, comments?
I think that everything is correct, with the exception of, as you just mentioned. I don't think that there's anything that we would have any tendency to disagree with, because this is all guidelines that were set prior, plus the the ordinance that was set before us is non-negotiable.
Right, that's law.
That's right. So,
Can I have a motion? Should we adopt these or get them prepared for adoption?
I move we prepare them for adoption.
Okay, we'll get
I'll
them typed
second
up.
that.
I'm sorry. Okay.
I'll second it.
We got a motion and a second to get these ready for adoption, so we're just going to retype.
Public hearing next month.
Be on the agenda for next month, and at that point in time, we'll formally adopt, I
You gotta
guess.
have a public hearing.
That's a public hearing.
You're gonna make that change that the quorum is for.
Right, yeah. So, having said that, is there any new business? Having none of that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
second.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.